I'm Sonia Faloyan, and this is my YouTube channel, Mind and Manna, and I am actually filming from Chapala, Mexico today. And I wanted to share a few things that I think newcomers to this area or to Mexico, or probably to most any place that you move to abroad, should think about. If this is your first time being here, welcome. If this is not your first time being here, and even if it is, please, if you find the information that I'm sharing with you helpful or adding into your life in any way, please do hit the subscribe button and please like and comment below this video. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about some things that I have observed that I think it's important for newcomers to know, and hopefully the information will be helpful to you as you make your journey to a new place, whether you are thinking about moving for the long term or whether you are simply engaging in an extended stay. Now, this is Chapala, Mexico, which is in the state of Jalisco. I am in central Mexico, leaning more toward the west coast of Mexico, but I am entirely inland, and I am actually situated on Lake Chapala. In fact, I can see Lake Chapala from where I'm sitting right now. I think one of the first and most important things to think about in terms of Mexico and many Latin American countries is just how central relationships are. Everything is based on relationships and trust. And I have found that in business, as well as just getting to know the people that are in my neighborhood, the people who do work for us, people that I am engaging with. Relationships are important, and the quality of relationships are extremely important. One of the things that is that I noticed early on is how central the family is. I mean, we talk about Mexico being a family-oriented country, but it truly, truly is. Along with that is the cultural idiosyncrasy of no, saying no is really considered impolite. So locals will go all the way around the bush to indicate that they can't do something without saying no. And if you, in interacting with them, use a strong, hard no, it's really considered, rude and sort of aggressive. So I've learned, along with the locals, to say other things that translate into English, like "I'll see you later," or "not right now," or "thank you," "gracias," with the finger wag is a way of saying no as well. And oftentimes, what I've noticed is that oftentimes, rather than telling us no, a worker or a friend will say that they're going to do something, but in reality, they really have no intention of coming. They just don't want to say no. And it takes a while to figure that out and to understand the nuance of that, rather than just seeing it as rude. I have to really remember that I am immersed in another culture, and it's incumbent upon me to understand the context, the quality of the relationship that I have with the person, to understand their intent, and to take it from there. Also, if you have appointments or you have an agreement and something comes up in the family, 9 times out of 10, your agreement or your appointment is going to be canceled in favor of what the family member needs. I've had a couple of meetings with, example I can think of is I had a meeting with a city official, and after waiting a good amount of time, because I do try to be a little more patient, I was told that the appointment was going to be delayed because he had to take his mother to the doctor. I've also had a situation where I had an appointment and I was told that would I be willing to wait another hour or 2 hours, because the official's son had just come home from college unexpectedly, and he wanted to spend time with the son. And I did wait. I ordered something to eat, but he actually brought the son with him to our meeting. So family is first, and that's in terms of business. It's also in terms of contracts. You never know who you're talking to or who's related to who. So I'm very careful as to who I talk to or who I share disparaging remarks or criticism to, because I don't know who's related to who. It may be that a landlord is related to the city official, or the city official may be related to someone in the contracting office, or my lawyer may be working on some paperwork for me because his wife is the one that's going to be handling the paperwork. So things are very, very, very tied together. Relationships are tied together. So I'm very careful who I talk to, what I say, because I just don't know who is related to who, and how that might affect me later on. Let me see, what did I say about this church detours? I also wanted to say that it's very, very important to be here long enough to get a sense of the context of the community. And that simply takes time. And I say this because I would say several newcomers to the area in the last year, I've noticed that they've, in their excitement to be in a new place, have shared some information that's not always accurate. And one of the most recent examples I can think of is we had an incident here in February that was cartel related. We were told that a leading cartel member of one of the gangs was captured in the mountains of Mexico. Nowhere in this vicinity, but there was a shutdown all over the area, all over the state, for about 24 hours. Some people who are relatively new went ahead and shut down for 48 hours, but the reality is the shutdown actually lasted for less than 12 hours. And in that time, families were told to go home, and the community, which has been through this before, I think maybe 10 years ago, the information on the media was so different from what we were experiencing in real community. The newspapers had portrayed this as a situation where there were bombings and the churches were on fire. Blocks and blocks of buildings were affected. And what I can say is, from what I saw, there was a lot of AI generated chaos. I will admit that here in Chapala, we did have a convenience store that was set on fire. There was a car set on fire on the main highway. But there were no churches on fire. There were no bombings. People went home, got on their grills, had parties, sang, invited friends over, and they just hunkered down for a day, which is what I'm told is the behavior to do. There was no panic. The streets were quiet. The birds were singing. Stores were closed. After about 12 hours, some people were seen out, walking along the lake, walking their dogs. But the panic that was portrayed in the media, that just wasn't what it was. And I did notice that a couple of newcomers to the area got all riled up. We don't know what's happening. It's a crisis. Things are just happening all around us. The airport is on fire. None of that was true. And what I would say is it's just important when you come to a new place to allow yourself to settle in, take cues from the locals. If the locals are panicking, then you panic. If the locals are chill or tranquilo, as they say down here, then that's the way it is to be. The activity that had sparked this whole thing was hundreds of miles from here. But it was, safety precaution for the community. The schools were closed for a day. But I say all this to say, get a chance to understand where you are before you make assumptions and start spreading information that's just not true. So just beware of getting information and sharing information that's out of context. The next thing I would like to say is when you're a newcomer to the area, observe, make friends, go to new places. But it's really important that you stay out of disputes. If you don't know people, you don't know the context of what people are experiencing, stay out of it. We had some guests who came here last year, and we went to a restaurant, and two women had been having a verbal dispute online. They knew each other. They'd known each other for years. They were on the outs with each other, and our guests took it upon themselves to jump in and take sides, which is just so inappropriate. You don't know, when you're a newcomer, you don't know anybody. You don't know the context of how people are arguing. And of course, within a few days, the two people who were arguing were back to normal. It's a relatively small community. They probably will never be the best of friends, but they have a civil relationship, and they worked out whatever their differences were between them. The other thing I would advise is when you're coming to this area, it's really important to have a sense of income, how you're going to make money, and to not plan on making your money among the local community. And it's also a good idea not to plan to have the local residents here, especially within our own community, within a community, not to expect them to fund your projects. So when I came to Mexico, I had developed an online coaching business. Since we were here, my colleague and I, Savvy Jones and I, we established a hospitality business. But most of our customers actually come from the United States, or they are business people or traveling people from other cities. But most of our guests are from the United States. I think in order for us to really have a local clientele, we have to be here longer, and I think it also means it's going to reflect the quality of our deepened relationships. The longer we're here, the more we can become a part of the local community. But when you are just coming here, the first few years, it's just important to try to integrate as much as possible, make new friends. But I would say it's really important not to expect to make your living from the local economy. There's a tremendous wealth in Mexico. There's also tremendous poverty. And as an immigrant to the area, I have no intention of taking work away from the locals who really need those resources. So when you come, have a plan to make your money. The other thing I would say is each community is different. Each community has its own personality. Each community has its own center. Chapala has a growing community of immigrant women or women who are in transition, longer stays, sabbaticals. And since a lot of my target market are black women over 55, that's really what we have a lot of here. There are definitely men here. There are some married couples here. But as of right now, there's I would say that in terms of black residents, most are mature single women. Now, there are younger women that are moving here, but I say this to say it's a fairly accomplished community here. Some women have been here for over 30 years. I would say that those are the Chapala black women pioneers on whose shoulders I stand. But we have retired or semi-retired, they're doctors here, dentists, therapists, nurses, non-profit managers, academic professionals, administrators of all sorts, lab scientists, military officers. These are highly accomplished women who actually, in moving to Mexico, have turned the page. They've left those careers behind. They have released themselves from hustle and grind culture, and they are here to live and enjoy their lives. I say that to say I have noticed that some younger women have come here to, and they're very proud of what they've accomplished in the USA, all well and good. But I'm just saying that this is a community of accomplished women who've already made their mark and who've turned the page and who are no longer interested in that hustle and grind anymore. They're more interested in rest, living their lives, traveling, taking each day, appreciating each day, tending their gardens, attending parties, celebrating. I mean, it's a different life mission, different lifestyle. So if you're coming here expecting to just sort of carry on as if you're in the United States, you're not in the United States anymore. You're in a whole different place, whole different environment. You're among a population that's highly accomplished, highly educated. As you know, black women are, by and large, very highly educated and accomplished. So to come here and throw out your business card and, to talk on that level, it's like the women here have been there, done that, have 2 or 3 t-shirts already. And I say that not in an arrogant way, but just to give some context as to the community that you're becoming a part of. The women here have turned another chapter. They have they've been through parenting. They've been through marriage. Many of us. Many of us have taken care of elderly parents. We've accomplished multiple degrees. We've been through ups and downs, life's hardships, and we feel like we've come out on top in an amazing way. So I would say that it's important to get to know the community, have coffee with people, understand where people are coming from, what they're interested in. But I think it's really, really important to understand that this is not, you're not coming into a hustle and grind culture anymore. The other thing I wanted to say is I want to talk about just official business practices. Whether you're banking, having residency conversations, if you have any legal matters to take care of, wills, property decisions, as I said, banking, all of those things, expect to fill out a lot of papers. You're going to fill out a lot of papers, and it's going to take you some time. So be patient. Expect to, if you're opening even a bank account, it may take you a couple hours to get through that process. And depending on who's on staff, it may take you several hours. Mexicans are very, very particular about paperwork. Signatures have to be exact. Got some community noise. Gonna wait till it goes by. They're very particular about paperwork. your signature has to be aligned to the letter as to how it is with your identification. Everything is very, very, very precise and particular. So just expect that as part of the process of being here. Calm down, shift to a lower gear, expect to wait, and handle your business. One of the neat things that happens here is if the banks will deliver money to your house above a certain amount. If you need money and you don't want to go to the bank, you can call and they will make the bank deliveries to you. So I think that's a pretty awesome thing. And when you are talking to your banker, for example, there's going to be some conversation about who you are and how you came here, and it's going to be a civil process. They want to know who you are, and they also are going to be very, very exact in what they demand from you. The thing about Chapala is that because there are a number of veterans here, and also Canadians and persons from the United States, there are, I think that I would say that there are expanded medical facilities here. The facilities here are very good for medical and dental. And with that saying, one of the things that you can expect with any doctor appointment is that they're going to take some time to have a conversation with you. If you go to your dentist, they're going to have a conversation with you. They are going to ask questions. You can get your teeth cleaned without having an x-ray. I'm in the process of getting some dental work done, and I was just amazed at the last time I went, there was a consultation over one of my x-rays because I had to get a root canal, and they were determined to help me find a way to save my tooth, which we're working on right now. But they called in 2 or 3 other specialists, and then they invited me into the conference. They showed me the x-ray, what they were thinking about and talking about. It was an awesome experience to have them spend that time with me, to explain what was going on, to ask my opinion about what I thought was going on, what did I want to have happen. And it's the same with doctor's offices, doctor's visits. You can expect that your physician is going to have a conversation with you, is going to want to ask you questions, so that your treatments can be more holistic. And I think that's just a wonderful thing. The other thing I think that's awesome is that many doctors here do make house calls. And I just think that's just, again, to me, it's sort of like the United States was 40 or 50 years ago, or beyond that, because I'm older than that. And when I was small, our doctor made house calls, but they don't do that so much anymore. But doctors do make house calls here, and I think that's just a wonderful thing to have happen. So I talked about the fact that paperwork is going to take a long time. Paperwork is it's going to be exact. You're going to have to take your time to sign your name properly so that it matches your identification documents. Family first is the rule. And what else did I want to say? Just really make sure that you just have give yourself time to understand the community that you're going to be staying in, whether it's for a short stay, whether it's a long stay, whether you're moving here. Get a chance to understand your community, and that takes some time. It takes asking questions. It takes putting yourself out into the community to get the information that you need, and following the cues of your neighbors. If your neighbors are stressed out, then it's probably a good idea that you can be stressed out. If your neighbors are tranquil and calm and going on about their business, then that's what you should do too. So that's what I would recommend today. As I think of other things that might be helpful to you as you're moving into the area or thinking about moving, just remember to give yourself time to get a sense of where you are, what it's like in the daytime, what it's like at nighttime, what the community vibe is like. give yourself a chance to really get a chance to know your community before you draw and make any major conclusions. I hope this has been helpful. I also wanted to let you know that here in Chapala, we do have an opening in our co-living residence here in Chapala Centro. If you're interested in the co-living experience, we live in a refurbished boutique hotel right here in the middle of town. It's an awesome experience. I'm on the rooftop of our house right now. We do have another opening that's available imminently. So if you're interested reach out to me so I can give you information. And also we're taking reservations for our overflow guest house, working on that website now. But if you have interest in coming to visit for a short stay or an extended stay, our overflow guest house here in Chapala Centro is open and ready to serve you. So if you have questions about any of it, please reach out and let me know. And again, please like, follow, subscribe, and comment right here below this video somewhere. Let me know what you think and if you have any questions. All right, it's great seeing you again, and I will check in with you the next time.